happened twice. Well, that was a good start. All right, welcome back to the weekly crypto market recap. Number 8. You know,
All right,
that was
number
a
eight.
great,
Yeah.
yeah, number 8. That was a great introduction. As always, Icarus at Alexandria here, and myself, AI Zoro, back again with another week of information in regards to like in the crypto market and everything that's happening within it, you know. And it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I mean, it shows a lot that like crypto isn't dead. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, it isn't that at all.
Yeah.
Um, I just think, personally, there's, I think the distinction becomes clearer between projects, right?
Yeah.
So most people are a bit more hesitant to spend money. So I think this, for example, I would say, let's say, I would say it falls in three categories, or maybe two, but most, I would say maybe three categories, where one is just the actual good projects that keep building,
Yeah.
um, and it might not be super exciting, but they're trying to move forward. And then there's just things like this that are, you could view it in two ways. Either they're super lagging behind, trying to catch up on a trend, let's say half a year to a year too late,
Yeah.
which, yeah, you can be the judge of that if that's the case with this thing. And then there's, I mean, almost blatant scams coming out. But yeah,
Yeah.
obviously
That's
I'm not
true.
too excited about those, and I don't think this is one of those projects. But yeah, fortunately, I do think you see less of that, but I also think you see kind of less fast-paced projects, right? I feel like
Yeah.
last year it was every week there was some new exciting thing coming out, and maybe some things didn't work out and they broke. But I feel like now it's just not a whole lot of things are coming out. Like, obviously there is some exciting stuff going on, like the merge obviously is coming up.
Right.
um, but that's, like I said, that's one, obviously, like Ethereum is one of those established projects where things don't move super quickly, but they just build along and it gets better over the long run. But there's not a whole lot of um, super quick, fast paced, um, yeah, things coming out like there were last year, I think. But yeah, we can dive right into this one. I think it doesn't have to be super long. I mean,
Yeah. No, I
guy,
agree. Like,
yeah,
it's already self-explanatory. Tiffany. They create jewelry and they decided to create a necklace with the CryptoPunk NFT as the headpiece, like you can call it, right? The pendant, and it's like how you said, like they, I guess they're capitalizing on the hype,
yep,
but you can say it's a little late,
yeah,
a little too late. But they could try, and like I'm not sure if like this we can go on their website. Oh, it's wow, it's
yeah, yeah.
sold
They
out.
they definitely
Wow,
sold out super quickly, but I think it's just
wow,
these kind of more old school companies trying, yeah, to catch on to like Web3 and crypto. But it probably, I obviously don't know how this went down, but it's probably like, oh yeah, there's this new thing, and then they figure it out, let's say a few months after everyone has heard of it, and then it goes through probably 10 committees to see if it's actually something they want to do. And when they actually figure out, hey, we want to do this, then they have to go through a bunch of stuff again to make it actually into reality. And then by the time it comes out, you're like a year after the fact, basically.
yep,
um,
yep,
because they probably don't understand that the crypto markets move so much faster than, like, for example, Tiffany deals in like art, right? And they're
Yeah,
as far as
yeah,
I know, mostly kind of a high end art slash collectible company. So for them, probably their market moves way slower. So they're maybe
yeah.
not aware of it as much, but yeah, good for them that it sold out. That's basically all I can say about it. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, seriously. Like even it just goes back to the idea that we were talking about with like, NFT shoes and all these things. Like
right.
it's like, people are gonna have this NFT and they could redeem it to get the necklace, or they could just, just hold on to it, like, and just sell it, whatever they'd like to do, honestly. And like at the end of the day, Tiffany is gonna be raking in the royalty fees. So it's definitely a different approach than most. Like especially like I mean I can't wait to see like something like K Jeweler try to do the same bullshit because they see their competitor Tiffany tapping into this type of market and becoming successful. I mean they sold out. Not many NFT collections sell out. I mean yeah, it's true, it's Tiffany and it's a necklace, but like yeah, with current market conditions, like it's still pretty surprising. But yeah, like how you said, like it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have strong feelings about this one.
Yeah, I mean, look at Starbucks. They're tapping into Web3 too. They're like, oh yeah, like we already have a loyalty program, but like we want to make it more integratable with Web3 and possibly make you earn some rewards that you can actually cash out into
Yeah,
dollars or
right.
some sort of thing like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's interesting. I mean, I personally hate Starbucks just because like they just overprice their coffee, and I prefer just making it at home.
yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't drink coffee at all, so I
Oh,
hardly ever go there.
yeah.
Um, but
I see that.
I think this is somewhat of the same story in the sense that also they're like a year late to the whole NFT thing, right?
Yep.
So
Yep. Yep.
um, I'm not saying it's a bad thing because obviously people might be interested in this, but at the same time, it's a bit like okay, yeah, you have this what do they call it? Kind of like a loyalty program or whatever.
Mm.
Um, it is a little bit of like okay, but do you really need blockchain for this? To be honest, like it's. I'm not saying it's absolutely a bad thing to do this or anything, but it's a bit like yeah, this is probably not the most useful use of blockchain technology. But I mean, if they want to do it, then who's stopping them, right?
Yeah, no, honestly, I see more businesses like that have like a loyalty program, rewards program of sort. Them possibly like integrating something like this, like that, like going forward. I mean, it makes sense, kind of like just thinking about like Roblox for example. Like there's Roblox money, or even Fortnite with the V Bucks.
Right.
Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's money, in game money, but like it's not like you can take it out. Like Roblox, I
Yeah.
know you could take it out, but it's like you would have to go through Roblox to then get it exchanged, and they control the exchange rate. So like I could see more trying to implement something like this. Like I feel like we discussed this previously in like one of our last live
Yeah. Yeah.
streams. Like the idea of like some of these businesses having the rewards program as an NFT, and they can get a discount, or they just earn overtime just for owning this NFT or whatever like that. It's definitely interesting. I mean, like how you said, they are a bit late with trying to like jump on the hype train, but like who knows? I mean, this might be just like the bottom, you can call it, and then like they're just getting in at the bottom on the ground floor, and then waiting for this, the next run, which might just happen like really soon. But I
Yeah.
don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. I think if to be honest, like if this would have happened half a year ago, I would have said this was the top probably. Um, just
Yeah.
because like it is a traditional company doing something just almost for the sake of doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
literally.
it isn't like a revolutionary transformation to their whole business or anything. It's more so, at least for now, and I'm not saying they couldn't make it more useful in the future, but at least for now, it feels a bit like,
Right, right.
hey guys, you see us? We're also doing something with this new cool thing that all the kids are talking about called NFTs.
Yep, exactly, exactly. I mean, yeah, like they like some of these are just gonna keep going on. I mean, like we have a couple of these already. Like us just going and talking about Gucci. I know I like
Yeah,
over here like Gucci had I mentioned this to you, like Gucci having like a Gucci store promoting Gucci in a Roblox world when Roblox is like a
right.
kid's
Yeah,
metaverse
yeah.
is it's pretty funny, and then just them seeing something like ApeCoin. I could definitely see Gucci even taking it further than just the Roblox metaverse and going even deeper in the metaverse with you know like with blockchain technology, right? So like it's them accepting ApeCoin, like if it's like some revolutionary token to be accepting as a payment is it's pretty funny. I mean, like how you said,
Yeah,
like it's some of these companies are just like, oh yeah, we're adopting this new technology that everybody's talking about just to gain some hype.
yeah. I think this might even be the best example so far, because if they
Yeah.
actually really cared about crypto, they would
Yeah.
obviously not probably not be accepting ApeCoin, but instead Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? So I
Yeah.
think they're pretty much only their only reason for accepting ApeCoin is just something is because they want to first of all be associated with crypto, but then within crypto, what's kind of the most pop culture thing that you can get? It's obviously ApeCoin, because
Mm,
you
literally.
might not really agree with it, but since like CryptoPunks were the first, quote unquote, the first NFTs, at least the ones that became really popular, right? But if you
Yeah.
ask any regular person on the street, the only thing they're gonna know about NFTs are bored apes. They probably don't even um, they don't even know the name, but they're gonna say, ah, yeah, the ape pictures or the monkey pictures, and so it makes sense why they would accept ApeCoin just as kind of a marketing statement from my view. But it's you also see that it's not mainly about crypto. It's just yeah, like a marketing statement, and probably
Exactly.
within pop culture, ApeCoin has the biggest mind share. Yeah, that's the way I view it.
I mean, literally. I mean, I mean, anybody that's in this space right now, they know ApeCoin is a joke. Like it's just like, okay, like you own this this monkey picture, right? And then
Yeah,
you got airdrop this token. Okay. Like but and then like seeing a company like Gucci like using that as marketing is it's even funnier because like it's not like they're like, oh yeah, it's only ApeCoin that we accept, right? They also say like right here, we expand to a range of cryptocurrencies available in in-store purchases, but the one that they highlight is
yeah,
ApeCoin.
exactly, exactly.
And like how you said, it's just for marketing, and that specific coin, yeah, it's gotten a lot of hype in the last couple of months ever since they've airdropped. So like I definitely agree with you. It's another example of a company just utilizing saying, oh yeah, we're implementing this new technology just for hype. I mean, another example is Instagram
Yeah,
with NFTs.
yeah. Actually, it didn't come up when we were discussing this beforehand, but I remember like last year, I made a few NFTs and I was interacting with some people in the NFT space, and they
Mm,
were then already reaching out to people um,
really?
in in the first half, I think, of the year, and
That's interesting.
pretty much people were just saying like, or most people in the NFT community were like, yeah, um, don't take the bait, basically,
Mm,
because they were offering, I think, like a ridiculously low amount to create an NFT for Instagram, and then if I remember correctly, it was just like, I don't know, like it wasn't even one ETH, I think.
really?
And then Instagram would get all the rights to that. So it was like, why would I do this if I can? Like some creators were making insane amounts of money. Like obviously, if you made something like Bored Ape, then obviously you're making a ton of money, right? But even
Yep.
the original creators that made just one-on-one pieces, yeah, they like I know people who also made a lot of money doing that, just creating original art and marketing it well and making a lot of money that way. So it's kind of confirming my theory of these companies are just so extremely slow because they were already reaching out to people somewhere last year, and
Mm,
only a year later you really see something materialize, right? So it just shows through how many iterations something probably has to go for something that is essentially not that groundbreaking anymore, right? Because like
right,
we
right.
already have an open sea and all these different marketplaces. Um, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not, I'm not saying like Instagram adopting NFTs is not or could not be a huge thing, because obviously Instagram has a way bigger um, user base than something like OpenSea, or even all the Ethereum addresses combined don't add up to all the Instagram users there are, right? Um, but
Yeah,
it's
no,
just
that's true.
it's kind of funny to see how slow these companies are um, with even adopting something like this. So yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be
it,
interesting to see, because I think the terms and conditions were just super bad, at least in the earlier stages, where I think, if I'm remembering this correctly, like OpenSea takes, I believe, 2.5% of every sale. Might be more, but I mean, even the more expensive marketplaces like Foundation, I think, take 10%.
yeah.
But with Instagram, it was like a third or something like that, which is obviously insane,
Jeez.
right? Like if you would sell something on eBay and they were taking a third of your money, you would think,
Bro,
all
what?
right, I'll find some other marketplace to sell my stuff on.
Yeah, no, like I mean, I'm not sure if this is what you were referring to, like with like they said we've updated our security features to protect your account and wallet when you connect. There will be no fees when you post or share NFTs on Instagram. So hopefully like people like lashed out and they were like thirty
Yeah,
percent is obscene,
yeah,
and like
that
they
that
just
could definitely be the case, because, like I said, this was definitely some time ago. So
yeah.
it could be that they got rid of the fees. But what stands out in this tweet, to me at least, is that they don't mention that there will be no fees when you sell an
Hmm,
NFT on Instagram. So
that's true.
um, yeah,
That's very true.
I
That is
I don't
very true.
know. I don't know if they got rid of it completely, but I guess we'll have to see if
Yeah.
that's the case.
No, definitely. I mean, just thinking about what Instagram even is, honestly, it makes sense as a
Yeah,
next step,
definitely, definitely.
you know? And like, I mean, even them supporting Ethereum, Polygon, like Solana, like, all these things in the future, I mean, yeah, go right ahead. I mean, to me, I I see the reasoning for Instagram moving in this direction.
Yeah,
Starbucks, okay,
definitely.
the rewards program, but Tiffany's like the least one. It's like it's a necklace,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and like yeah, it's very interesting. So I mean, hopefully it's not what you're saying with 30%. every sale. That would be such a big problem. So I mean, I could see people already like going against it in some way. I mean, just the idea of what Instagram is gonna be replaced. Like they're gonna be a
Yeah, yeah,
decentralized Instagram anyway. So like, who knows how long this could last? But I wanted to leave the best example for last for like a company going ahead and trying to integrate Web3 or crypto in any way, and it's
right.
BlackRock, and it's honestly it's pretty crazy because they are the largest wealth manager of the U.S. Like, and it's I'm not sure if it's just the U.S. and maybe the world. I'm not entirely sure, but like I know for at least the U.S. that's who they are, and like even the Fed printing money, a lot of it they manage. So
Yeah,
like
ends up
this is
with
very
BlackRock.
interesting.
Yeah, you're getting kind of here in like semi schizo territory, but I think I even
Yeah.
saw, yeah, I think I even saw that there's some link between the Federal Reserve and BlackRock. But
Yep,
again,
yep, yep.
I don't
Who
have the
knows?
sources. I don't have the sources on that now, but you could probably look it up.
Yeah, no, definitely. We could definitely find it. I mean, just the idea of them offering their institutional investors the ability to also invest into crypto assets through Coinbase is pretty exciting because the
Yeah,
way I see it is that like you know Coinbase listings have like lost their magic, their touch. Like nobody gets excited about them anymore. It's like whatever, who cares? Coinbase just lists a bunch of bullshit anyways. So it's like seeing this, it's like okay, this could be interesting because now like any assets that is already listed on Coinbase or is going to be listed on Coinbase, BlackRock is going to be possibly allocating funds into some of them. And that could be very exciting, honestly.
yeah. I think what is important to remember with these types of articles is, like, for example, there was this legislation passed, I think, a while ago, which basically stated, if I'm not wrong, that like all the banks could hold Bitcoin, right? And
Yeah.
maybe it was even central banks, but anyways, some people read it as the central banks are telling every bank, or even in some cases, mandating every bank to hold Bitcoin on their balance sheets. And that is just completely wrong. It is only the possibility is now there. Like they're
Okay.
now legally allowed to have some part in crypto. But if you take BlackRock, for example, I
hmm
think somewhere it's said that they manage somewhere in the
10 trillion.
yeah, somewhere around 10 trillion, right? So
That's
that
crazy.
doesn't mean they're all of a sudden gonna put that complete 10 trillion into Bitcoin. Obviously,
Yeah, not at all.
that's insane. And I mean, it's probably not even gonna be 1% in the, at least in the immediate future, right? Because if you're BlackRock, you can probably afford the best people in finance and whatever kind of areas of skill that you need. So 1% of 10 trillion would be 100 billion. They would understand that if you would all of a sudden go out and buy 100 billion of crypto, which would most likely have to be Bitcoin, since it's the
Yep.
biggest market cap and the most liquid, that would be an insane increase, right? That would be 10%
Oh yeah.
of the complete market cap, somewhere
Yeah.
like that. But that's like obviously not the whole market cap is liquid, because that's not how market caps work. So you would be driving up the price instantly, maybe a few times, right? So they're definitely not going to do that all of a sudden.
Oh no.
Yeah, they might. Honestly, I would even be surprised if it's 0.1%. I mean, 10 billion is still a lot of money. Um,
Yeah,
but
no,
I
I
mean,
agree.
yeah, I mean, this is just kind of me kind of rationalizing some of the excitement that people get when they see headlines like this. But I'm also not trying to discredit it, right? I mean, the fact that this is now even a possibility shows how far the
Yeah,
whole industry has come. And
definitely.
if they're not now investing, let's say 1% into Bitcoin, doesn't mean that in the future they're not gonna do that, right? So um,
Yeah,
yeah, it will be interesting to see what they actually do, what they buy, how much they buy. So
yeah.
yeah,
No, you said it perfectly. Like now they can do it, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
like now like there's the option is there, and not only the option for themselves to allocate, you know, some of the funds into, you know, some of these assets, but also like their clients, like if they wanted to manage their, like how it says right here, like, you know, it allows clients to manage their Bitcoin portfolio exposure directly, you know, directly
right,
through
yeah, yeah,
BlackRock. And it's interesting because most of them is, you know, institutional investors, and like the biggest thing previously was like, oh yeah, like institutional investors can't really get into the crypto market, they can't really get into the DeFi, they can't really, because of like regulations and all. And like, you know, even like GBTC, that
yeah.
allowed,
Grayscale.
exactly, that allowed a lot of institutional investors to, you know, be able to invest into Bitcoin, even if it's just Bitcoin or even some of the other assets that they had under management. But like this is just, you know, another grayscale, way
Yeah,
larger grayscale, and they're gonna have whatever assets under management, and then they're gonna allow their clients to be able to, like, you know, buy in or, you know, sell, like just manage their portfolio easily through them. So it's like how you said, it's definitely exciting to see what the next couple months would show, like how much they, you know, pretty much allocate towards crypto and how much their clients allocate towards crypto. So I mean, it's all this. I mean, especially this is like it's a really good bottom signal, even if we don't see it immediately. Like how you said, like, oh yeah, it's not like they're gonna allocate even just 10 billion. It's not like we're gonna see it immediately, but at least like them having that access now, it's like, oh yeah, like the crypto
at
market.
least the door's open.
Right, right, and then at least now, like we could definitely see, you know, the crypto markets, you know, maybe start growing. Maybe not like immediately, but like we could definitely start like going up in value sometime in the
Yeah,
future. I mean, this alone like could signal like, oh yeah, this could be the bottom, and we could start seeing maybe some consolidation and then some upwards movement in the future. But just the fact that the door is open is very, very, very exciting.
yeah, I agree.
And then going into, you know, optimism and how they're pretty much allocating their supplies. I mean, it's pretty interesting. I mean, like they have. I mean, do you know about Thales Market? I'm not really. I haven't really looked at them.
Yeah, I think it's a derivatives platform, but I think it's an options platform.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Really?
some sort of derivatives
Yeah, yeah,
platform. Yeah,
yeah. I haven't really experimented with it, to be honest. But yeah, it's this derivatives platform. But
yeah,
this only goes towards the actual project, right? Or does it also go to the people who, let's say, LP'd in certain projects, or maybe
yeah.
users trade of the project?
Yeah, it's like a combination of all of them. It's like,
Okay, okay.
yeah, the 900,000 that's going to them, like 55% goes to like users using it,
Right.
35% goes to LPs, and then 10% to builders, which is honestly, I mean, it's really interesting. I mean, just the way that, you know, Optimism has just structured their whole distribution and their airdrop and everything is really, really interesting because, like, I mean, I don't know what you think. Like, do you think they've done a good job so far, or you think they could improve on some things?
Um, I mean, the distribution seems, I guess, it's fine. But what is my biggest question is just why? Like, why would you need a token, right? Because
Yeah,
so far it just seems a completely useless token. and
Yeah.
I'm so glad I sold whatever small airdrop that I got. Because yeah, like I said, it's just completely useless, I think. So I mean,
Yeah, no, that.
free money is always nice, of course.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But basically,
100%.
if this is just playing Robin Hood, essentially, by using the VC's money and distributing that to stakeholders within the ecosystem. Like I said, sure, it is nice to get free money, but at the end of the day, who really benefits from that, right? The VCs probably bought in for a very low amount, so maybe they benefit, and if like all the stakeholders in the community also benefit by just getting free money, then
Yeah.
it's good, I
No.
guess. But it's also a little bit of like, why are you exactly giving away free money? Is it just kind of the same thing in a way that Curve is doing, where you have emissions just to keep people on your network? And
That's exactly what it
yeah,
is. I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's interesting. Imagine if Google Chrome had it in a had like an incentive program where it's like, oh yeah, any of these websites that you use, you're gonna get paid by us for using our browser to use these websites. That's
yeah. I
essentially what
mean,
this is.
you know what the thing is? I could see like a Web two company, a traditional Web two company, come out with a token.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
let's say a few years from now, and this is gonna sound pretty harsh, maybe. But I think because there's so many users, right, of the internet, I think
Mm.
the the allocation per person is probably going to be super small.
Yeah.
So we're probably not going to care about that much, and it's gonna for us. It's probably going to be like, yeah, whatever. Because if we receive, let's say, $5, we'll probably be like, sure, nice. It's nice to get $5 for free, obviously, but who cares?
Yeah.
So, but it's probably like the positive side of that is probably going to be that maybe people in the third world, for them, it
Yeah.
might be,
That's true.
be way more, right? Like, I don't know, I could imagine some African countries where $5 might be like uh, maybe more than you make in a day, right? So then it's like,
Yeah.
hey,
No, it's
if
true.
you could afford maybe a few meals from that, then I'm all for it.
Yeah. No, I mean that's why I like Optimism even just like distributing their token like on seller network, like most like every single time it's like, oh yeah, like to users using it or like LPs or builders, like same thing over here, like they even like allocating some to you know the chain link node operators, like they're gonna get like a million you know OP tokens. Very
Right.
interesting, like you know and then Aave, like all these different examples, like they're continuously like they're rewarding the users for using these different applications and using you know optimism to then use these different applications. And like how you said, like in some of those countries, like them receiving $5, $10, $20 from these airdrops, yeah, they're gonna take that and like be very very happy with that, even if the token is like completely worthless right now. Like in the future it might have some utility, may not. But like how you said, like someone is gonna appreciate that free airdrop.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
oh,
the thing I'm wondering if I'm seeing the allocation, um, if it mentions builders. So in this case, it's just it would seem to me that the builders is just the people that run Aave, right?
right,
Um,
yeah, most
but
likely.
yeah, so what is interesting to me is if you give airdrops to builders, how do you, especially if it's a chain, right? How do you then decide who gets an airdrop and who doesn't? Because let's say if you're just spamming like meme token contracts on a cheap chain, right? Like you're
Yeah.
just minting one new coin after the other, um, and you're doing this first of all, kind of as a way to hopefully Sybil attack an airdrop for builders on this chain, and maybe even um, trick a few people into buying your meme coin and then dumping on them. Like, do those people, like, that would be a possibility if you're just distributing tokens to builders regardless of if you know actually if they are building a like a legit project, right? So how do you
Yeah.
decide which builders, or like what classifies as a builder is maybe a better question than to ask which builders get an airdrop. So
No,
like,
yeah.
do you already classify as a builder if you've just like minted a contract on chain?
I mean, I don't know. Now that you mention it, like just thinking back at Phantom and what was that guy's name? It was
Andre Cronje?
yep. He made like he created a ton of projects on Phantom,
Right. Yeah, yeah.
right? And he just I don't know. I feel like he did some like a form of this. And maybe not like Phantom, with their ecosystem, like distributing their token, but like he created like let's just say Curve, and then he had an airdrop, right? And then like anybody that used his Curve fork then would get like a distribution of that airdrop. Then he just
Right.
created a bunch of like a bunch of applications that then use that specific the curve fork, and then he just pretty much just gave an airdrop to himself.
Yeah, that's pretty smart.
I mean, it is, and it's fucked at the same time because like a lot of people was just buying into both, like the curve
Yeah,
fork and some of these different applications, thinking like, oh yeah, this is about to be the next big thing and all this. Yeah, but like I agree, like there has to be some threshold, like oh yeah, like if you're a builder and you've built, numerous, protocols or, DApps that has like large, you know, TVL or whatever it may be, a bunch of users, whatever it may be, just
yeah, yeah.
like as proof, like, oh yeah, you're a real builder. You're not just building on this ecosystem just to milk the airdrop that you might possibly get. So I mean, hopefully there's something in place. Maybe
Yeah,
not now, but in the future.
I think what you mentioned about TVL, although
Mm,
it definitely by far is not like a perfect metric,
definitely not.
it is at least some metric, right? It's
Yeah.
like
It's
a faulty metric or a flawed metric is better than no metric. Like having no
yeah.
metric at all is probably even worse in this case. So yeah,
No, I
that could be
agree.
something.
I mean, if if a blockchain was like, oh yeah, we're gonna give you this token, just build, on our blockchain, I would definitely start minting a bunch of meme coins.
Yeah,
Why the fuck not?
of course.
You know,
Super
it
easy to
makes sense.
find like an
Yeah.
example contract, so why
Yeah.
not?
No, literally, and it's like, I mean, you're already incentivized to liquidity mine for most of these projects, right? So
Yeah.
how is that not like you're? I mean, you're not mining liquidity, but you're still like, I mean, you're still getting paid to bring liquidity onto the blockchain in a way. So like, so it kind of is liquidity mining in a way, but like, yeah, all these things is definitely something that like hopefully we could improve on in the future. And on the last note, I mean, just the idea of like AI creating fucking like pictures, like these artworks, like and then minting it as an NFT is honestly like an idea that I've had for quite a long time, and it's honestly pretty amazing to see like more and more people would like utilizing this idea and like taking it and like just expanding on it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think one I think like AI creating art is probably one way of generative art. It could also be just someone creating like an algorithm
Right.
themselves, right? So I think art blocks is a pretty good example of that. Like
Mm.
ringers or fidenzas is just someone who has created this themselves. um, and I do like those collections both a lot. I do think the whole generative concept works great for more abstract art. So I think,
Yeah.
things like this. I think this, like you might not like all three of them, but I do think you there's definitely an argument to say like, yeah, this is definitely art, and it's
Yeah.
at least
No, that's
somewhat
true.
it's at least somewhat in the range of similar abstract modern art. So even though I went to plenty of museums, I don't know that much about art, unfortunately. But yeah, I definitely
Same, huh?
do like some of this. Like I would say I like the first one and the third one best. Maybe the middle one not so much, but um, yeah, I like I said, I think this is great. I do think it's more something that our generation will appreciate, right? Because
Oh yeah.
with we're interacting with computers so much already that for us it's not that crazy of an idea that either a computer completely generated something, like for example the pictures you're showing now, or at
Mm.
least the computer helped you in creating
Yeah.
something that you told it to do. Or I would guess maybe DALI is kind of the same, but I would say in DALI kind of the role that you play as an artist is way smaller because you just tell the algorithm basically what to do. Whereas if you're, let's say, the person who created the fidenzas or the ringers,
Mm.
you actually had to think of the whole algorithm yourself, and you had to do experiments and change things to the algorithm, um, to
Yeah, that's true.
in a way where you could see like, all right, no, if I have this line of code it comes out better, or things like that. So I will say that I think, yeah, things like the fidenzas or the ringers are a little bit more creative in the traditional sense of the word than maybe DALI. Although I do think DALI is super cool, and like it gives people who maybe don't have the creative abilities to make something like this themselves. It gives them like a more even playing field, because then you can just ask basically a computer to make something for you,
Yeah.
right? So even if it's just as an entertaining tool, I think it's super cool. I just for now I think it might not be the I wouldn't put it in the same category as let's say maybe the fidenzas or the ringers, but
Oh yeah.
I
No,
do
definitely.
I do think that like really creative artists can also find a great way to get some cool results with this. So yeah, I'm
No,
excited to see if we get maybe a
100%.
DALI 3, what that will look like, and what that can do.
Yeah. No, I mean like the bro, like even just like, cause you know how I've mentioned like previously, like with GPT-3, it's all about like what the input is. Like you have to do some prompt engineering just so you can get the specific output you would want.
Right, right.
Like it's the same thing with Dolly. And like I was playing around with it, and like I realized that like this man, like this person put a painting of a fox sitting in a field at sunrise in the style of Claude Monet. Is that you said? But you see
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
Claude
Like
Monet. Yeah,
yeah. But like if I was an artist and I was really knowledgeable on so many varying different types of art styles, like I feel like at that point I'll be able to like properly do prompt engineering like a lot better than like
yeah,
myself, for example, that have no idea who Claude Monet is, you know what I'm saying, and how their style was created. And like it's I feel like someone mentioned it. I feel like we've talked about it as well. But like these AI, image generators are like pretty much giving the keys to everybody, like to be able to
yeah,
like create art. You know, be it
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying. And it's really
I,
really interesting. Like how you said.
I think it might be especially interesting if you, let's say, in a kind of future that I can see, right? In a couple of years, where you could also do this to a more advanced level with, let's say, video and audio. I
Oh
could
yeah.
see this being really useful for art directors to kind of make up like a mock-up of, let's say you want to make a commercial or whatever kind of video. You
Mm,
could just tell the AI, like, all right, we want to do this, this, and this, and you give it kind of a pretty good description of how you want the whole thing to look like, and
hmm
then if let's say it's accurate enough that you get a pretty good result of what you want, then you could say like, all right, yeah, this looks pretty good, and this is also how we're more or less going to do it, but the end result, if we're actually doing it, might be, let's say, a bit better than what the
Yeah.
AI can provide. Just like how you have storyboards for most movies, right? Like for a lot of movies, they still make storyboards where they're just sketching out um, the scenes, and even if you're not making an animated movie, you could still use the storyboard to get an idea of what the camera angles for the movie have to be, and kind of where the characters have to be positioned. So, like where the actors have to be positioned. And I could
Mm.
see something like DALI, yeah, if it also translates to video, I could really see it being useful there. Then you can just super easily make kind of a concept for let's say a movie or whatever, and then actually get a better idea on how you want to execute it.
No, yeah, I agree. And what's crazy is that there's like DALI is not the only like AI image generator. Like there's more that's came out after DALI, and they're like 10 to 100 times better. And it's
Well,
honestly insane. Like yeah, no, literally, we just don't have access to it
yeah,
yet. Like there was one that Facebook made that was like make a scene, right? So like instead of it being an input of just text, like you could like put text and also like it gives you like how you're saying with storyboard, how you like you would sketch out like the scene and then it would generate the image. So then like you could like it could be more accurate on like the placement of what you want within the image and like how the image would look. So like I mean I definitely could see us like going from that to then video and then so on. Even like right now with DALI, like you could upload an image that's already created and you can get variants of that image. Or you can
yeah,
just upload it and just like edit it and like take out certain parts and then like have it generate like something else in that certain part that you deleted. Like it's honestly mind blowing. Like I mean, yeah, like, I can't wait to see what like it get to that point, like how you're saying, and like I feel like it's just gonna change a lot of things, and like I definitely agree with you in regards to like even like an artist like coming in and using these tools like they like this is not going to replace artists, this is going to enhance them
yeah,
tremendously. And like and it's not going to be just a bunch of like how it is now, there's like you know some really really good artists and then some bad artists. Like
yep.
now it's like the bad artists are mainly just you know like us that don't really know much about art and we're just using these tools to play around with. And then like the really really good artists are the ones that just know how to use these tools really well. And like it's I don't know that future could really be interesting.
Yeah, I think then it comes more down to like, okay, so I would say traditionally a lot of creative a lot of creative things have essentially come down to a lot of craftsmanship, right? So you
Mm,
had to, like, if you look at someone like Rembrandt, he obviously was super skilled, and you can
right,
just not, you can simply not learn that in, let's say, 1 year of painting. That's just
right.
simply not possible. Um, but
That's true.
if let's say the level of knowledge that you need to have how to use a certain tool to achieve a certain outcome or certain result, then I think it becomes less about the skill level and more about the ideas. So then the
Yeah.
idea becomes way more important because essentially anyone with a good idea could create it. But if it's still, let's say, for example, the example you have here, right? Like a painting of a fox sitting in a field at sunrise in the style of Monet.
Hmm.
That's, I mean, it's a nice picture, but it's not super super mind blowing. It's not. It's
Right.
not like a super mind blowing scene or anything. So then the concept becomes way more important. Of like, okay, what do you actually want to show the viewer, or what do you want to create? Because essentially
Right.
everyone will have access to the same tools. So
Yeah, that's
it's,
true.
yeah, it's not so much about your skill in being able to, let's say, for example, paint anymore, because anyone can quote unquote paint now
That's so
with
true.
yeah, like a high skill level, essentially. So it becomes way more about the idea, which is interesting.
No, it really is. Like on the last, on this last note, like I want to touch on is like it ties right into what you're saying. Like, I was like Timo, like he put a prompt in, and he got like these specific images, right?
Right.
I could put the same exact prompt, use the same exact AI like DALI 2, and I won't get the same images. Like he probably like,
That's
you see what I'm saying? He
interesting.
probably got this image and probably did variants and variants on variants on variants to find the specific one that was like the one that he wanted, right? And
Right.
like that goes into what you're saying, and I feel like that is something that we really, I feel like if we wanted, if an artist is interested today and they wanted to really get into using AI and these tools, that would be the way to go, is like really figuring out how to like properly prompt engineer some of these, like, like use these tools to like properly do prompt engineering to then figure out the specific output they would want, either with variants or like just uploading images to get edits or whatever it may be. And it's you're totally right. I mean, if everybody has access to the tools, it's all about how you use it.
Yep. Yep.
But man,
Yeah.
this has been a great stream. You want to end it off right here?
Yeah. Let's